Recent stories from tabloids such as the New York Post, Express, and Daily Star abound, focusing on allegations that NASA scientists have evidence that could prove the existence of parallel worlds. It's all blown out of proportion and misrepresents the research at hand. Scientists have discovered evidence or signals of fundamental particles that may challenge existing physics theory. It could be a problem with the way particles interact with ice. The latest piece of data that could support a multiverse comes from the Royal Astronomical Society in the United Kingdom. A study on the so-called cold spot was just published by them. This is an extremely chilly stretch of space that can be detected in the radiation left over from the universe's birth more than 13 billion years ago. So is there really a multiverse? If not, what exactly sparked the rumors of one? Keep watching to find out. The goal of physics has always been to explain why our universe takes the shape it does. It must explain why some fundamental quantities have the values they do to do so. For instance, the speed of light, the mass of an electron, and the gravitational interaction's strength. However, if there is a multiverse, that search may be doomed to fail. There will be an unlimited number of worlds with similar but slightly different basic rules of physics, just as there will be an infinite number of universes with similar but slightly different basic laws of physics. The concept of a parallel universe is based on particle configurations repeating infinitely in numerous universes. As a result, an endless number of worlds could exist that are mirror images of our own. Therefore, every potential physics combination is tested across the universe. Eventually, by pure chance, at least one will have the conditions we observe today. It's just a huge old mishap which doesn't seem very rewarding. To be clear, there is no evidence of a parallel reality right next to ours, where all the rules of physics seem to be acting in reverse. While a parallel universe may exist beyond our own infinite cosmos, scientists have yet to find direct evidence of it. Instead, the two abnormalities could be signs of a new particle's discovery. The Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, ANITA, discovered neutrinos, which are extremely high-energy fundamental particles that appear to have passed through the Earth. The ANITA is a detector for cosmic rays. The gigantic balloon flies 35 kilometers above the Antarctic in the cold, dry air above the continent, where radio noise is minimal, in search of evidence of unexplained, ghostly particles known as neutrinos. When neutrinos collide with ice, high-energy cosmic radio waves are produced, which bounce off the ice. According to Derek Fox, an astrophysics professor at Penn State University, they were impossible if they were originating from the Earth and penetrating through all that mass. To pass through the Earth, you basically need a new particle if these things are real. Neutrinos would collide with particles on the Earth if they traveled at their current speed, making it impossible for them to pass through the entire planet. While these particles may appear to be impossible, however, this isn't always the case. Instead, they may have simply defied the standard model of particle physics, which defines the universe's fundamental forces. In their defense, the model has been around for over 50 years, so it was probably time for a refresh. Since then, experts have attempted to explain this peculiar occurrence and have come up with a new theory. However, one such notion has led to claims that scientists have discovered a parallel universe that is identical to our own. People were ecstatic in the idea that NASA discovered a parallel world, but they were keeping it concealed, quickly became a popular topic on social media. NASA's WMAP satellite initially detected the cold spot in 2004, and ESA's Planck spacecraft confirmed it in 2013. It's quite perplexing. Most astronomers and cosmologists feel it is exceedingly unlikely that it was created by the birth of the universe, since it is mathematically difficult to explain using the dominant theory, inflation. We can't fully rule out that the spot is generated by an unusual fluctuation explained by the mainstream theory of the Big Bang. One of the study's authors, Professor Tom Shanks of Durham University, told the RAS, "There are other possibilities. The collision between our universe and another bubble world generated the cold spot, which is perhaps the most intriguing of all." If a more in-depth investigation confirms this, the cold spot could be considered the first piece of evidence for the multiverse. It's all quite interesting. However, as we mentioned earlier, if there is a multiverse, scientists will have to acknowledge that the ultimate purpose of physics, to explain why our world exists, will have to be abandoned. One of the most outspoken critics of the multiverse idea is, incidentally, one of its creators. Princeton University's Paul Steinhardt contributed to the development of inflation, the theory of the start of our world. It's the one that can't explain the cold spot while simultaneously giving birth to the multiverse, since, according to its arithmetic, once a universe begins to form, it causes the birth of more universes indefinitely. Steinhardt, on the other hand, became a skeptic of his own idea. Our observable world would be merely one possibility out of a continuous spectrum of events, he told Scientific American magazine in 2024. After all, we haven't explained anything about the universe by introducing inflation. We've just shifted the problem of the original Big Bang model. How can we explain our simple universe when there's a nearly infinite variety of possibilities that could emerge from the Big Bang? In this light, a multiverse does not appear appealing. It would go right to the heart of what physics is all about. Nature, on the other hand, is unconcerned. Maybe the universe really is this way, and all we have to do now is accept it. Many people are willing to defend the multiverse as a reasonable way of thinking. If we truly live in a multiverse, we can rest confident that there is an alternative version of you and me out there who has already worked it all out. Different explanations have been proposed by astronomers, such as Fox, to explain the Earth-traveling neutrino. The neutrinos observed in the two unusual episodes could have been dark matter particles, which scientists have been looking for since the 1930s. Fox notably said, "From my vantage point as a spectator, it's a dark matter degradation scenario." According to Fox, heavy dark matter particles can amass in the Earth's core, and when they decay, produce highly energetic particles that erupt from the Earth, resulting in the upgoing cosmic ray showers recorded by Anita. According to media accounts, the odd discovery led to the discovery of a parallel universe in which particles change shape and run backward. The media was referring to the work of Peter Gorham, a physics professor at the University of Hawaii who issued a paper on the discovery, claiming that there is a new class of subatomic particles that is more penetrative than all other particles discovered to date. According to a Daily Star article, they were shape-shifting particles, indicating the existence of a parallel reality. Gorham later addressed this in a statement saying, "We didn't originate this entire parallel universe notion, but we've been tagged with it. A journalist made a mistake and linked it to us, which has unfortunately snowballed. We had nothing to do with the parallel world concept's inception. While I am not averse to free conjecture about the abnormalities we've seen, we believe they're more likely to be explained in terms of physics, which is considerably less exotic." To put it another way, the number of conceivable outcomes from particles interacting with one another in every universe tends to increase infinitely faster than the number of alternative universes increases due to inflation. Even putting aside the possibility that fundamental constants, particles, and interactions have an infinite number of possible values, and even putting aside interpretation questions like whether the many worlds interpretation accurately describes our physical reality, the fact remains that the number of possible outcomes rises so quickly, much faster than simply exponentially, that unless inflation has been occurring for a truly infinite amount of time, the number of possible outcomes will continue to rise. So, how does this affect you? It signifies that it is up to you to make this universe worthwhile. Take the career of your dreams, stand up for yourself, handle the hazards as best you can, and go all out every day of your life. There is no other universe in which this version of you exists, and no other future for you but the one you choose for yourself. So make it the best that it can be. What do you think of the concept of a parallel universe? Comment below.